Bowzone Live is brought to you by Afflictor Broadheads, Bully.ca, Bronc Beer, Easton Archery, Euromounter, TV Mart, Power in Motion, Yokohama Tires, and White Rock Performance Gear.
Welcome to day one of Bowzone Live. I am your host, Tom Gazzola. We are on the air for the next 90 minutes. We've got 6 shows over the course of the next 2 weeks. 13 hunters taking part. We'll show you everything you need to know about the Bowzone. For those of you at home, stay tuned. You can win some great prizes from our sponsors at White Rock. We've got some great coolers for you. And then, of course, Bronc Beer. So you could put some of that beer into those wonderful coolers as well. We've got plenty more giveaways for you from some other sponsors too. So stay tuned for that later on in the show. But first, let's get right into it. Joining us now is the mastermind behind Bowzone Live. It is Ryan Kohler. You know him well here on Wild TV. Ryan, I know this is exciting for you, especially for everyone that's involved with this project over the next couple of weeks. What's it like to finally be here in the zone and getting in those tree stands and having this happen?
Well, Tom, it's cool. We've got 13 great people in the stands right now. I just came out for a quick lunch break to chat with you. I was in the stand this morning, and it's a really cool place. It's a quiet place out there right now. The weather this morning was a little almost kind of rainy, sleety, and everything got loud. But as far as excitement goes, I've been trying to put this together for 17, 18 years, and it's finally coming together with all the right people, and I think we've got a good group. It should be a great show.
Talk about that process, Ryan, because, when people hear that, over 15, 16, 17, 18 years to finally get this thing off the ground, just what were some of the difficulties of making it happen? How has this project evolved over time in your mind as well?
Well, I think we put a lot of things first. Wild TV, the station, comes first. All the other productions that we make for the station came first. And this project was something that was in the back of my mind forever. I tried making this project before Wild TV, actually, and it didn't fly. So we really needed to have some years under our belt to learn how to produce television, to get the right type of team together, and then to have a little bit of free time to be able to put it together. So I just got lucky, and this seemed to be the right year to do it.
We do have some talented hunters that are going to be taking part in this show, and we are going to introduce them, obviously, and talk about them at length. But what was it like getting this cast of hunters together, convincing them maybe? Did you have to twist some arms to get them to be a part of this show? What was that whole process like for you, Ryan?
Well, actually, it took 2 or 3 years to convince some of the people. I've kind of been working on them without them really knowing, in the last 2 or 3 years, slowly convincing some of the guys. I mean, we've got some great guys, some real professional hunters. We've built some awesome ethics that we're all going to use. And the team is built of professionals, some new hunters. We've got a woman, Heather Wilson. We've got a really neat team of guys that have done it before and guys that haven't done it. So it should be a cool experience for everyone.
All right, you touched on it a little bit, Ryan, but what did we see in the zone today? How were those conditions? You touched on the weather in the morning. Ideal, not ideal, somewhere in between. How would you describe it today?
Today was interesting because it wasn't yesterday, because we've kind of been working for about 3 or 4 days now. Yesterday was really, really quiet, so there's no wind, and even to get your bow off the hook and draw back makes enough noise where I tried it yesterday on a smaller buck, and he jumped about 5 feet in the air, at 20 yards. So today was, in my opinion, a little bit better of a kill day because there was some wind and the leaves were rustling. It was a little bit colder, and you had to make sure that you cleaned off your bowstring and your arrow every once in a while because it was building up some ice and stuff on your bow. But if a deer had come by today, I think it would have been a better day. Today was a much better day. The temperatures are dropping a little bit, and the deer on their feet. We had a good buck on his feet today at 150 yards this morning. 170-inch big dark black buck I call Thunder that I'm after. He was moving around, so that was cool. And I think Gunther had 5 bucks under his stand. He's got 3 moose bedded under his stand right now. So if you check, we've got a WhatsApp kind of forum going, and everybody that's hunting is on it, and so they're sharing all their experiences. It's crazy to watch that thing go.
Ryan, the juices are flowing. I can feel it talking to you. I know I'm looking forward to seeing what the hunters have in store. We're going to talk more, but first, a quick break here on Bowzone Live. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Ryan Kohler. This show, of course, is Ryan's brainchild, and he's been giving us some tidbits into what we're going to see on this program over the next 2 weeks. Ryan, we talk about the Bowzone, the Edmonton Bowzone, and the mystique surrounding it. You've hunted it for years. Just how would you want our audience to know about the Bowzone and what brings it that mystique and makes it so magical and that gives us these mythical bucks that we see hunters take down?
Well, I think mainly it's the difficulty that makes it the most fun. You're using archery equipment only. You can't bait. It's all permission based. There's really no crown land. A lot of these animals are nocturnal, or they live in areas that are hard to access. The temperatures can get to minus 15, minus 20, so you got to bundle up. It's hard to shoot. It's hard to move. You don't eat much. You get super weird pretty fast. You're hunting dark to dark. Basically, it's the hardest deer in the world, in my opinion, to hunt. Period. And not only that, but because there's no rifles in the area, you do get those mature, big, dark chocolate racks, and you can push a 190-inch deer. We've killed them in the last few years. We kill one every once in a while, and then eclipsing that 200 is possible, not probable, but I mean, I believe in monsters.
You talk about the challenges you as hunters face, but how wily are some of these bucks?
Well, if you don't have your game face on and you're not really prepared, if you don't have everything, if you don't do everything right, at the end of the day, they're going to be able to smell you. They're going to be able to see you, pick you out of the tree stand. If they cut your boot track, they're going to pick up your scent on the way in. There's just a multiple things that could go wrong. Right now we're hunting the last 2 weeks. Some people talk about lockdown right now. And then when you get into the last week, we get into where those bucks, are really stupid for one little week. But that's about it for the whole year. Really, it's tough to trick these animals.
It's exciting. It's thrilling, exhilarating. I don't know how many more words I can use to describe it, but you know what? Why don't we let the experts do that? Let's know the zone.
Bowzone Live is a project that I've been working on since I was a kid. When I started the station, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do a project where I got a team of bow hunters together and hunted in a place that I loved. And the Edmonton Bowzone is that place.
The Edmonton Bowzone is a really special place. Historically, this area has been known for phenomenal genetics. The accessibility to really big deer is exceptional in the Bowzone.
You never know every day you go out what you're gonna see. You just know there's a possibility of a world record that you could see. You could go out and see the biggest cranker you've ever seen in your life.
During the rut, which we're gonna be hunting, it's crazy, it's wild, it's unbelievable the way that these deer just cruise around looking for hot does. And if you're in the right place at the right time, the Bowzone can be one of the most magical places in the world at what you can get to walk in front of your stand.
Every day you wake up just trying to be good enough to hunt these animals. It's a tough place. The animals there are hard to kill. They're nighttime creatures, they're nocturnal, they live in subdivisions, you've got to get permission.
In order to hunt the Bowzone, and in particular whitetails, you got to find them, and you got to find permission, you got to find the land to do it. You got to put the time in, preparing your stands, preparing your body, preparing your equipment,
It's, I think, probably the hardest animal in North America to hunt, especially with bow and arrow, and in the conditions here in Alberta with the cold temperatures.
Whitetail deer is a challenging animal to hunt. Not only are they smart, but also the conditions we're hunting them in. I mean, you're hunting in -30, it could be +10. I mean, it's extremely difficult situations, and we're not hunting over bait. This is all strictly sitting on deer trails during the rut, hoping that that big buck walks underneath us. So, I mean, I think the challenge of it is exciting, and that's why a lot of people find the Bowzone so intriguing, because it's definitely not for people that want an easy hunt.
The most difficult place in the world to hunt whitetail deer, in my opinion. The climate, the temperature, the proximity to population. These deer are smart, they learn you very quick. The temperatures you have to endure to sit in that stand for hours. You have to put your time in, you have to pay the price, you have to go through all of that adversity. There's gonna be times where you're sitting for hours without moving. You're gonna be freezing cold, and a giant buck's gonna walk by your stand, and you gotta draw back your bow and take that shot under that pressure. There's just nothing like it, there really isn't. It's an amazing feeling, and I think why the people that hunt here are so passionate about it is because you have to work so hard for your opportunities, but when you get them, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
The group of hunters that I've assembled is a pretty strong group. We've got some really good experts in the field that will be able to tell you how to hunt, teach you how to hunt. We've got everybody from professional athletes to professional outfitters. We've got some rookies and we've got some gals. So we've got a really cool, diverse group.
That's Know the Zone. Coming up next, we're going to meet the hunters as they get into the stands. All exciting stuff coming up here on Bowzone Live. You're watching Bowzone Live here on Wild TV. Tom Gazzola with you. Ryan Kohler along for the ride as well as we get set to meet the hunters. Ryan, before we do meet some of them, what are these hunters facing in terms of challenges in the Bowzone?
Well, as far as challenges goes, they're facing extreme weather, potentially nocturnal deer. Some people call lockdown a thing right now. You're not going to eat much. You're going to be hunting private property. You're sitting dark to dark. You're getting up, at 4:30 in the morning, waking up and sitting in the stand an hour early. So there's a lot of challenges.
All right, let's meet some of this crazy crew that we've got going out there sitting in the stands in the next 2 weeks.
My name's Corey Cook from Whitecourt, Alberta. I'm a supervisor at a sawmill in Whitecourt. I've worked there for quite a few years. I love elk hunting, I love whitetail hunting, I love everything about hunting in the outdoors. Elk hunting is probably one of my biggest passions. I've called elk for several years and I've been in some competitions of calling elk. I met Ryan Kohler a few years ago and he's invited me into the Bowzone area for hunting whitetail. What makes that area such a unique area to hunt is that it is strictly archery only, and I'm a die-hard bow hunter from way back. I've hunted there for the last 3 or 4 years, and I've had some great opportunities and some huge whitetail deer. I'm out there this year just looking for my first ABA whitetail deer, so hopefully I can tag up on one of them this year.
My name is Ryan Kohler and I'm the president of Wild TV. I can tell you right now that filming alone and trying to film kills and trying to film whitetails by yourself is the next level. It's the next level of hunting whitetails in the Edmonton Bowzone. You've got the GoPro in front of you or behind you, you've got a camera on a camera arm, you've got to somehow move the camera into the frame with the deer walking into the frame at the exact same time and get the shot at the exact same time. It's a huge challenge. I've done it for a number of years now and it's very, very hard to get a big mature whitetail on video that you filmed yourself.
I'm Gunther Tondelier. I live here in the Bowzone and I've been bow hunting for nearly 30 years now. And my passion for bow hunting turned into my livelihood about 15 years ago when I became a professional outfitter guide with Wizard Lake Outfitting. We offer black bear, moose and whitetail deer hunts right here in the Edmonton Bowzone.
So there you go. There's some of our hunters here on Bozone Live. Ryan, we're going to meet more of them later on in the program, but you being the mastermind of this show, bringing this crew together, what are some of the common traits of the hunters on Bozone Live that really sets them apart from other hunters you may know, and how was that process getting them involved in this show?
Wow, that's a great question. You know what? They're all individuals. They're all individuals. We've created a team, and I think that's what the most important thing to remember here is we have a really cool team of individuals, and you need a good team to be able to do this and pull it off. And everybody's very different. I mean, you got guys like Gunther that's just like he can sit dark to dark, no problem. It never, he'll never move. And then you got guys like Zach that are brand new and they're just learning the ropes. Kevin and Heather Wilson, they're almost science-based. They know a lot of information. And then I'm trying to kind of think of everybody here, but regardless, everybody's different. They bring their own spice to the team, and that's what makes it great.
Ryan, what's the challenge physically for some of these hunters, or maybe all hunters? Do you have to be a bit of an athlete to do this?
I would say for sure you have to be in pretty good physical condition. I mean, you got guys like Jason Moss and Louis DeBrusque that are, crushing it right now, getting up and down those trees without a problem. You're going to sit dark to dark, so your knees get a little shaky sometimes after in that position, depending on if you stand or if you sit. In the mornings, you're going to carry all your gear in, which could be up to 50 or 60 pounds on the way in and on the way out. So you got a big hike in the morning on the way in and out. You're probably not eating much food. And mentally, you get a little crazy because you're staring into the wilderness the whole time. But for most of us, that quiet place is a really special place. And it's just amazing to be there.
We're going to get to know these hunters really well over the coming weeks. More coming up here on Bowzone Live on Wild TV. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Ryan Kohler as we get set to embark on an exciting adventure over the next couple of weeks. Ryan, we met some of the hunters. We're going to meet more of the hunters on this show. Specifically yourself, though. You're a character. Your prep and lead up into going into a hunt, what's that like as we get set to see what you have in store?
Well, I think preparation is really the biggest part. You've got to be dedicated to the craft and trying to find ways to scout these deer way in advance and put a lot of time and energy into it is really the key for me. There's things that I would be handicapped by. I mean, I don't like to sit in high tree stands, so I better do a really good job scouting. And so we did a lot of that, a lot of stand placement, a lot of putting up stands, a lot of lane cutting, and a lot of watching in the evenings to see if we can find these animals. And then a lot of game cameras. I've got our Bali cameras. They're amazing, and we put them up, and we've been using them like crazy. And finding the animals is really the most important thing. And the only way to do that is to put your boots on and start walking and trying to find the sign, or basically just get everywhere you can.
How about the team atmosphere? Because it's not a one-man show, is it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I got some issues with my shoulders, so I'm real lucky to have Jason Moss with me right now. He's been huge, actually. He has been helping me put up stands that I couldn't lift and put into the trees right now. We got Jason Moss and Louis helping huge. Gunther's also been helping, but everybody has their own little kind of area that they've been setting up in. And we've tried to help each other get things like that done. And that's been pretty cool.
All right, let's take a look at your adventures leading up to day one of Bowzone Live.
Well, here I am again in my garage. Most of you that have watched How to Hunt Whitetails have seen my garage probably too many times. It's a new season. It's 2020. And with 2020 comes new opportunity and new challenges, new friends, new spots, new deer. This year's a pretty cool one. We've had some great things happen and some things happen. 2020 is going to be the year people remember COVID and all those things that have come with it that have been really, really insane. But as I sit here and, clean out all my gear from last year, wash some of my clothes that I didn't even wash after I was done last year, pick through all my little doohickeys to prepare, I'm just thinking how lucky I am to be able to do this again. And I hope I'm going to be good enough to be able to, play in the game again. The most exciting part is being with friends again that I haven't seen or talked to for a while. Usually you talk to these guys in November for just a brief amount of time, and then they go back to living with their families and taking their kids to hockey and school and whatever else they have on their plate that's called life. But for one brief moment in November, life stops and you get to hunt the most beautiful animal in the world, the Edmonton Bowzone whitetail, which to me is the toughest whitetail on the planet. I'm just reflecting on the last 3 or 4 years of hunting in the Bowzone and filming in the Bowzone and doing it on my own. And this year I'm just so fortunate to have a group of hunters that I'm going to do it with. And we're going to try to go live and do new things that no one's ever done in the industry before. And I'm proud of them for all, believing in me and joining in and trying to be a part of it. It's pretty amazing. We sat with them all today at the round table and chatted and just traded stories and techniques, and it's going to be a wild ride. So if you're watching this now, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of Bowzone Live. Let's do this. I'm in a buck thicket. It's just smashed with scrapes in here. I got information last night that a double drop tine megabuck is in here. Right now it's real quiet, but I'm gonna rattle soon. We'll see if that does anything. Might have shaken him up a bit. I have seen nothing today. I rattled, grunted, snort-wheezed. Some of the big bucks have been on their feet, but I'm not seeing them on their feet. Good morning. It's a couple hours before light. October 31st, Halloween. You gotta go hunting whitetails on Halloween. It's the coldest day from the last 6 days. Bucks are definitely on their feet, the good ones too. And so I'm gonna go try a spot this morning. Four does just walked right by me. No buck. I'm actually making a little bit of noise on purpose. I know that right now bucks love rubbing and scraping and stuff. So if they hear stuff in the woods, sometimes they come to it. So I'm not too worried about breaking a tree branch or something like that. But I'm in a kind of a bowl here, and the ground's really crunchy. So if a deer's coming, I'm gonna hear it 200 yards away at least. So far I saw 6-7 does this morning and a moose. So we got a bunch of tree stands from True North Tree Stands, and it's a Canadian company. And I just set one up. I'm sitting on one now. It's awesome. They are wicked stands, like a nice light tree stand with a good solid base, a nice long base. So when you put your feet down, you have room to move. I'm going to set up the ladder stand today. I can't wait to put that up. I got a really good spot for it. It's just a super wicked little funnel. Okay, Keith and I are working on the True North ladder. Think you can do it?
Hopefully.
We've got it all laid out on the floor now. And we're gonna put it together. Coming along. Hey Keith.
It's coming along. Yeah, not that good, but it's coming along.
It's coming along good.
Look at it, it's got a thread all the way through.
Almost got the top half, and the bottom half's pretty simple. So yeah, that took about what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty easy. Okay, we got the ladder stand. I got a good trimmer. I like the electric trimmer and the co-pilot. Okay, that took us 10 minutes. But it's up. Kind of in a weird spot. Wonder if it'll work. It's actually pretty hard to see. We'll find out. What do you think, Keith? Is that gonna work?
I hope so. You know, we're hunters, we're not engineers. Oh, no. It's gonna work. It's gonna be a one-time deal, and it's gonna work. The step stand's gonna work.
Huh. Okay. There it is. Okay, we've got some sticks. We're gonna set up a real killer tree stand. So the good thing about sticks is they're quick, easy, and once you get them on, they're pretty much on. What is that? Pin? Yeah. That's good? Good enough?
Yeah, jump in, see what she's like.
I got the True North stands today. We're setting them all up. Me and Jay and Scott. For Bowzone Live. That one, I got a helper tree beside it so I can put my camera on there and I can move around. It's open. If you get to this spot right here, you can see me, but if you get to this spot, you're dead.
You would have had a brief glimpse of Wonka. And then I had two small bucks come by. And they just whipped by. I didn't hear anything. The snow has finally fallen, it's quiet. I can't hear anything at all. Right now our whole crew is filming. We're filming for Bowzone Live. Just some pre-game stuff. But it's pretty awesome because we got 13 bow hunters out there right now and they're all doing their best. I'm not here out alone anymore. I got a bunch of guys helping, which makes it great. Anyway, pretty good morning so far. I've seen 3 bucks. It's about 10. And yeah, pretty fun. That was a pretty wicked moment. That was a pretty nice 5. Heavy, kind of orange colored horns. He came right under my tree. He was under me. 8 yards, he was using a licking branch. I thought he was gonna put a scrape on, but he didn't. The snow was just shining on his coat. And his horns were just awesome. And he was awesome. Pretty face, just a beautiful deer. It was really a really exciting moment, a really wonderful moment there. You get only a few every year like that. But man, oh man, was that ever something. That buck was a stud. I didn't shoot him because there's 2 other bucks here that are much better. But he was pretty close. He was a pretty big buck.
We're going to get to know these hunters really well over the coming weeks. More coming up here on Bowzone Live on Wild TV. This is Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Ryan Kohler in what should be a very fun couple of weeks. So, Ryan, we met some of the hunters. These are people you've hunted with. These are some of your friends. We're going to highlight and feature one of them right now, and his name is Corey Cook. This is someone you have a history with. What do we need to know about Corey before we go into his first hunt?
Oh, wow. What would you need to know about Corey? Corey is a great guy. He would take the shirt off his back for you. He's a dedicated hunter. He loves the idea of trying to film and self-film a whitetail kill. Basically the show is about trying to do that, trying to get a whitetail self-filmed, which is, a high level of difficulty, and good ethics. I mean, the guy's a great guy and follows those ethics. And you know what? He's kind of a goofy guy too, so he's good to have around. He's good to have as part of the team.
All right, let's see what Corey has in store for us today.
Well, hello guys. It's October 31st, and I'm just heading into a spot that I had a couple nice pictures of a nice buck that's been running this ridge here. So my plan is to put a stand up and look for a couple scrapes and then head out of here, and then maybe come back in the morning and set the stand. So right now I'm just kind of going up a little bit of a ridge. This ridge here is where the deer come along the ridge, and then there's a field straight out from the ridge. So it's a pretty good productive corridor that they use. So if I put a stand just off the side of the ridge, I think my luck will pan out for me, hopefully. But I'm just going to I've got a little bit of a climb to come up this hill, and then I'm going to put the stand up. Alrighty, I just finished putting up the pegs in the tree. I'm going to go up there, I'm going to pull my stand up, I'm going to hang it, and then I'm going to get out of here. There was 3 good scrapes along this ridge line here. I've got a field to my right, and I got a big ravine to my left. So this is definitely a corridor that the whitetail have been using. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to get the stand up, and then I'm going to get out of here. So just first night in the stand. I've got 3 nice bucks coming in here, and 1 big wide 5x5. I have a decent 5x5 heavier with some little stickers on the right and left main beam, and I have a 4x4 East tight rack and really tall brow ties. So anyways, I'm going to sit here tonight. If that big 4x4 comes out, that big 5x5 comes out, that wide buck, I think I'm going to put an arrow in him. But if he doesn't, I'm going to have a fun night in the stand. First night out. shot at him, but just not enough light. So, but anyways, pretty good start for 2020 Bowzone Live. Well, there's a couple things I like to do before I go out and sit that stand. I like to take a couple shots with my bow and arrow, and just to get the feel and the warm up the shoulder, build a little bit of confidence, and most importantly, you usually don't shoot with these type of clothing on, so it just helps you build that confidence a little bit more, and I truly believe it helps the overall hunt. I'm going to step back 45 yards, shoot the target that's right to the right of me, and then shoot 2 times, and then I'm in this stand, and hopefully that big whitetail buck comes in. Right, you gotta like that. 2 arrows, 2 broadheads, side by side, 45 yards. Put one hand around them, a little bit above the black dot I was aiming for, but that is a dead deer. I'm comfortable. Let's go get him. Well, I'm back at her in the stand, 3rd night, and we've got snow. Had a decent buck come through here called the Bandit. He has a blind eye in the left eye. I think if he comes by tonight, I'm gonna put an arrow in him. I have 5 years of pictures of that deer, so there's definitely some history there. He's not a huge deer, and he'll never be a huge deer, so. But the wind, I'll tell you, it's cold out here right now, and it's blowing, I don't know, 30 kilometers an hour, and I'm warm with this new line of Sitka hunting gear that they produced, and I tell you, it's great stuff. I really, really enjoy it. It's quiet, it's warm, it's like having a big old heated blanket on you. But wish me luck. Bowzone Live 2020. I'm gonna put a little love in the air. Hopefully a big buck will smell it and come in, and I'll get a nice 25-yard shot.
Let's welcome in Corey Cook to the Bowzone. Corey, we saw you setting up. We saw you doing your wind check and testing things out. It's great to have you on the program, and I know you and Ryan go back a ways. Just your thoughts on being part of Bowzone Live, and how all of this really came together, and you getting down to the nitty-gritty and deciding to do it with Ryan.
Well, you know, like I said, I met Ryan quite a few years ago elk hunting, and he lives in the Bowzone, and he just offered me to come and hunt the Bowzone, which is a great place to hunt. It truly is. It's archery only, and he knows how much of a diehard archery hunter I am, so I was pretty privileged when he asked me to be part of the Bowzone team this year, so I was pretty excited.
All right, we know that you had your eye on a few bucks in your area around your stand. What bucks are we going to see coming up shortly here, and what's your connection to any of them?
Well, this year I targeted a couple different deers that I had in line. I had a big wide 4x4 whitetail that was kind of catching my eye this year, and he actually came in earlier, and I didn't have quite the camera light on him, so I couldn't get really good footage of him. The other buck I was targeting his name was the one-eyed Bandit. He was a deer that I had, I would say, since 2015 pictures of. And in 2016, he damaged his eye in a fight with another deer. So in 2018, that's where he kind of grew the best antler growth. And then
shortly after that, I decided I was going to target this buck because him and I had a history, and you know, it was just something. He'd show up for two days out of the year, and that's it. He'd disappear. So this year, he gave me an opportunity, and I took that opportunity and ran with it.
When you are chasing a buck and you're watching them over years, and you talk about, you know, not just 1 or 2 years, but we're talking 5 or 6 years, is there a connection that you feel that you build with some of these bucks? How do you articulate and describe that to your friends and people who ask about what you're doing out there?
Absolutely, there is a connection. You know, you put these game cameras out all year long, right? And when you see that one deer that you've seen for 16 years, you look forward to seeing that deer again, because you want to see what type of horn growth he's got, or maybe even he doesn't even grow bigger. It's just a different type of connection. It's like opening up a Christmas present, and when you see that deer, hey, I know that deer, and it truly is something special.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you've got in store, but first we got to get to break. More with Corey Cook coming up here on Bowzone Live. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with you alongside one of our hunters, Corey Cook. We saw Corey tee things up. Corey, we've got more video of you in the stand. You're joining us from the comforts of your home. What are we expecting in this video coming up?
Well, I guess you guys are going to have to play it to see it.
All right, let's do just that.
Okay, I have a whitetail buck. He's coming this direction. There's 2 does. He's at the far end of the field. He's coming my way. I think it's the Bandit. Well, I just put an arrow on Bandit. I didn't make a good shot. I did not make a good shot. It felt like my string caught here. I'm usually when I anchor, I anchor close to my mouth, and I had this up like this, and I believe the string caught here a little bit. It just felt like the arrow kicked to the left, which it did. It basically hit him back into the guts, came out the one side, so not a good shot. I'm gonna let him sit, but he is bleeding really good. Hopefully I'll let him bed down and I'll go find him, but it just tells you, I don't know, I'm kind of speechless right now. I can't believe I did a shot like that. I just pulled, my arrow went to the left, and I don't shoot to the left. Just not a good shot. I'm gonna let him sit for at least a couple hours, and then I'm gonna go in and try locating him, and hopefully he's dead in his bed. He may have hit a main artery on the back end of him. Hopefully he is dead.
Oh, there's the arrow. Found the arrow, guys. Found the arrow. Well, it was a pass through. That's awesome. There he is. Yeah, baby! The bandit is down. The bandit is down. The bandit is down. The bandit is down. Well, 2020, buck down, baby, Bowzone live. I got the bandit. I have 6 years of pictures of this buck, and he just was a buck that wasn't going to get much bigger than what you see right now. So I decided he'd be one of my target bucks this year if he gave me an opportunity, and last night he did. He came in at about 35-yard shot. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera. I was just out of the frame. I was trying to self-film, turn the camera, turn the Tacticam on, all that good stuff. And it's definitely challenging, but the most important thing is I got this buck. Unfortunately, I had to come find him the next day because I wasn't 100% sure on my shot. My shot was a little bit back. I knew that. I was going to look at it in the camera after the fact, but not realizing that I didn't have the buck in the frame when I shot. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell, so I choose not to go after that buck last night and come back in the morning. And here he is, and I'm happy. This is awesome. This buck has some history with me, and unfortunately the journey has ended. But he will fill my freezer, and I'm really tickled pink. What a great day this has been for me. Bowzone Live 2020 is a wrap.
Welcome back to Bowzone Live. So far in the show, we caught up with Ryan Kohler to learn a little bit about the Edmonton Bowzone. We also met some of our hunters. We talked to Scott Sterling about what he caught on camera today, as well as Corey Cook, who managed to tag out on his buck named Bandit. And we've also seen some bucks that anyone would be proud to take home as a trophy. Speaking of trophies, it's time for you guys at home to get yours. Check out wildtv.ca/contest to enter for a chance to win a cooler from White Rock Performance Gear, a brand new Traeger grill from PV Mart, a 1-year supply of arrows courtesy of Easton, the official arrows of Bowzone Live Hunters, and a 1-year supply of Afflictor broadheads. You can also win a hunter's package from the folks at Setlock, and finally, a Bronc Beer swag pack from our friends at Bronc Beer. So get to wildtv.ca/contest to find out more about all the great prizes from our wonderful sponsors.
Bowzone Live is brought to you by Afflictor Broadheads, Bully.ca, Bronc Beer, Easton Archery, Euromounter, PV Mart, Power in Motion, Yokohama Tires, and White Rock Performance Gear.